let's get started. All right, here is our agenda for today. So we have two members from M&T Insurance Agency, Jon and Zach, and they will be presenting on their analytical platform called Seymour. More to come on that, but thank you, Jon and Zach, for joining us today. We also have a member of Salesforce, Rashid, joining us today as well. He's going to review some Tableau feature updates, so what's coming up in future versions of Tableau and things like that, and what we can look forward to. And of course, questions, feel free to, like I said, submit them throughout, but we can review some at the end as well. Just a recap of who is on our committee. So we have a couple folks from New Era, including myself, Morgan Sustak, Connor Giovanetio, and Melissa Fisher from New Era. We have a few M&Ters as well, Christine Lilly and Jessica Simic, and a few folks from ACV, Alex Huerta and Robert Kubal, and Sujit Seedy from Citibank. We are a newly formed committee, so if you guys have any suggestions for us, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. We have the Buffalo Tableau user group, as well as our individual emails here. All right, so I think I'm going to turn it over to Jon and Zach.
Awesome, thanks. Can you guys see the screen now?
Yep, thank you.
So Zach, take it away.
All right. Thanks everyone for having us. We're from M&T Insurance Agency. We're going to talk a little bit about our journey to get to a product we call Seymour, and kind of how Tableau has gotten us there. Jon, if you want to go to the first slide. So a little bit of our agenda. We'll do introductions, talk a little bit about who M&T Insurance Agency is. We're a lot different we are part of M&T Bank, but we are a lot different than the banking side. So it's always good to give an introduction of us. And unless you're in the industry, insurance brokerage is a kind of an unknown entity. We'll talk about the development, the business needs, and kind of how we've come up with Seymour, how we implemented it, and where we see it going into the future. So to start, I am Zach Howe. I'm the controller here at M&T Insurance Agency. I actually worked in higher ed for most of my career and then came over about 4.5 years ago, where I was introduced to Tableau by Jon. I'm a heavy Excel user, and now I use Tableau a lot for our internal reporting and a lot of our financials. So it's made my life personally a lot easier with a small accounting team here at the insurance agency, of being able to automate a lot and be able to present to our leadership team and to the bank's finance and leadership in an easy capacity, and one that we can update automatically connected to our data sources, or very easily by using Tableau Prep. So I've been using Tableau for about 4 years and have grown quite a bit on it, but do most of my work internal, and have worked with Jon on this Seymour product, which is an external one. So I'll let Jon introduce himself.
Thanks, everybody. Jon Anderson. I am the analytics team lead at M&T Insurance Agency. We're a team of 4 analysts right now, and myself put together, and actually at the beginning of the year, the insurance agency decided to invest more in an analytical based team for the entire agency, just because we saw a lot of value in being able to explore the data available to our clients and also internally. So like Zach said, I started using Tableau as soon as it came over to the bank about 4 years ago. It really helped us get from using Excel and a bunch of other just very time-consuming ways to kind of go through data, and allowed us to really enhance our product and get us to the next level. My team consists mostly of insurance professionals, so we don't really have a lot of data background. So the learning curve for us was a little steep, but we're definitely getting there. And then recently we did hire a data scientist onto our team, which really shows the power of using Tableau and using it to grow a department. One last thing too, you guys might be wondering, the picture of me there, the beard for COVID definitely sticks in. So you can see here that that is me. So exactly, I'm gonna imagine you're all laughing hysterically because when you make jokes when everybody's on mute, obviously it's a hit or miss. So I'm gonna take that as a hit, and we'll get started here. So Zach's gonna go over some of the introductions of MTIA and a little bit about the insurance agency.
Thanks, John. And I'm glad to see you're not 12 years old anymore. So what is M&T Insurance Agency? We are insurance brokers. So we don't underwrite insurance like if you have Travelers or Liberty or Geico, they all underwrite their insurance. We don't. We help clients. So many of your businesses that you work for, we help you find insurance with those carriers or with other markets. So we are really in the risk management field and spend a lot of our time dealing, as you can imagine, with data. So in insurance, it's been a data-led field for centuries, and we're starting to get to like the forefront. You know, insurance kind of fell behind in data analytics and that, especially on the brokerage side. So we're kind of trying to turn the page there. And we model ourselves for a really holistic approach when it comes to how we service our clients. So we have our brokers consultants, we have practice leads, so people who specialize in things like workers' comp, cybersecurity, group benefits insurance. We have claims consultants, so if you have somebody fall and get hurt or you have factories, we help you manage those claims to reduce your costs, not only on claims, but also on your insurance premiums. And our loss control team obviously works with that as well. And where we're really growing and moving towards is the data analyst side. So John's team, that used to just be focused on group benefits, and now we've expanded it. So outside of health insurance, now we're looking at things like workers' comp, property claims, auto claims. And then we have the service side, which is our account managers and our account executives who work with clients day to day. So really all around, we try and be as holistic as we can, looking at a client's view. And really being a consultative company. So we are their trusted partner. Our clients come to us because we do what's best for the client, not what's best for us or the insurance carrier. We are unbiased. So for us, it doesn't matter for us if you're with Independent Health or Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. We want what's best for the company. And then having the analytics department, as John mentioned, we've recently made this switch. We've talked about it pretty much since we got onto Tableau, and you'll hear more about this story about how we can transition this and how we can support our clients in making better data-driven decisions to help manage their risk programs. Go to the next slide. So how did this start? A few years ago, M&T had Viz Games. So we had a really big day that Tableau helped us put on. And part of that was a visual analytics competition. John and I took first place that year. It was the inaugural year, I believe, with the dashboard that you can see on the left. And what our thought behind this was let's take the data we have and what John's team was doing, and how do we help it serve our clients? So the idea was kind of born on my back porch with a couple of beverages of let's take what we're currently doing and moving it out and kind of democratizing the data. It's our clients' data. Let's help them use the data and kind of storytell. Now we look at this dashboard, and I don't think we would ever show this to someone, but in I think summer of 2018. This was super exciting for us. So it really did start with an internal competition of, dashboards around the bank. We are the only external one, but I think it helped people along the bank, and I'm hoping other people from M&T agree, kind of think about how we can switch, using Tableau for just kind of excelling in Tableau and create more bright visuals, and, call out important information.
Awesome. So one thing I wanted to kind of set up before we got into it a little bit more is just our mission and vision statement from MTIA Analytics. So really our vision is to unify and provide our customers with valuable data-driven solutions. Like Zach said, we're using a bunch of different data sources, which we'll review in the next slide just to give you an understanding of where a lot of our stuff's coming from. And then also our mission is, MTIA Analytics is trying to enhance our customers' experience by delivering quality key performance indicators in an efficient and timely manner. Through close partnership, education, enablement, we can tackle data challenges around quality, trust, efficiency, compliance, privacy, and create a culture of collaboration with M&T Insurance Agency's CARE objectives. So we have CARE objectives overall at the agency. CARE stands for communication, accountability, respect, and excellence. So we really wanted to pair those two things together. And, as you'll hear through this story, Tableau is really the launch point for us to continue to build this department out and build a product that actually can bring some value back to the agency by being able to efficiently bring data together for our clients. So what was the business need for this? So carrier agnostic reporting, what we mean by that is, like Zach said, our clients could have, say, M&T Bank has multiple insurance carriers because they're across the East Coast. So maybe they have one health insurance carrier in West New York and they have another one that's down in Maryland. Now, in that world, those two health insurance carriers are never talking or sharing data or putting anything together. So M&T, if they're looking at it and they say, hey, we really need to get a holistic picture of our entire risk on the group benefit side, sometimes it's difficult for them to get all that data together to review it. So using our own independent platform, we're basically grabbing data from the health insurance carriers, budgeting and finance data from our clients, grabbing benchmark data from national benchmark sources or any different type of data that we can get, blending it together and trying to present it in a really efficient way to our clients so they're not having to go to a bunch of different reporting portals or struggle to figure out, hey, where is this information coming from? We also wanted dynamic subgroup reporting. So you can imagine in the risk management space or the insurance management space, if we're looking at comp claims or property losses, a lot of the times they might need to look at them by shifts or by different locations or property managers. And a lot of times some of our groups have hundreds of properties. And in the past, that would mean a PDF deck that had 50 pages in it and they had to tab to the one they needed to. So really what we wanted to do is be able to give our clients the ability to drill down as far down as they wanted, build some dynamic subgroups for them, and allow them to view it all in one spot. And then lastly, as we'll continue to kind of bring up throughout the presentation, we really need to find a way to differentiate our client experience. So we are in the sales industry here in insurance consulting, and we are competing in the marketplace against other insurance consultants. So finding a way that we could bring additional value to our clients was key for us, especially if we want to continue to grow in the marketplace. So when I'm talking about data sources, just to visualize this, I'm a big picture guy, so that makes sense that I use Tableau. Marketing, history, and insurance by background, but I like pictures, and Excel just wasn't doing it for me, so I guess I had to learn Tableau. But really, on this data source slide, it really breaks out some of those things that I talked about. So if we're looking at a group and we have their data from a human resource information system or basically a system where you're seated is located, how many employees are each location, demographic information like that is available to us, property and casualty loss claims, budgets, deductibles, we can look at those as well. From the group benefit side, their billings on self-funding, their premium equivalent rates, everything that's set up there that they need to track and monitor throughout the year. And then layer on top of that, benchmarking, plan design analysis, and budgeting. And we can really kind of group all of that together in a way that it might have been difficult for our clients to do in the past. One thing to note on here is that our platform, we do have a process of scrubbing all of our information for any PHI or sensitive data. So everything that goes into there is de-identified to the level and aggregate it up so it can never be identified to an individual. But basically building this out on the back end, grabbing all these data sources, putting it together, and then putting it into a space where our users externally can access it. And then, as you saw in a couple slides before, our internal users, like our account servicing team and consultant professionals, can access it easily, really is beneficial to us. All right, so the evolution of our reporting, just to give you guys an idea of what it looked like in the past and what we're moving to in the future. On the left-hand side, it's just an example. In the past, it's just, hey, here's a table, here's monthly performance, your medical claims, pharmacy claims, your budget, surplus deficit, maybe a simple bar chart, but it always left us with our clients asking for, all right, well, what's next? What else can you tell us? What else can we do to manage this cost? In the group health space, one of the second largest expenses for a company is your health insurance, and that's only second to payroll. So managing this expense is a huge thing that we need to really work on with our clients. They need to understand what's going on with it. So moving that over to our right-hand side and more of our dashboard view, we wanted to implement more KPIs, more interactive bar charts where you could hover over it, see exactly what's going into that detail on that bar chart, break it out for them, let them click in and drill into specific areas, just to really teach our clients, how to use visualizations rather than just reviewing tables. And that's one of the other challenges that we had throughout this project and continue to have today is our end users, we're working together to get them to that next level to help them become, analysts and look at things critically rather than just requesting a data table and all that. So it's an amazing process for us to be able to take it from what we were to where we are now, and then moving forward, there's going to be a lot more things that we can do with all these reports. And just to give you another example, this is just a very basic Seymour dashboard that's out there for our client. We didn't want to get too much into specifics around, hey, what this is showing, why it's important. We wanted to more talk about our journey today. But you can see on our dashboard, some of the things that I'll highlight for you is we try to keep it simple. They can tab across different pages, so 1 through 6, based on reporting that they need from us. They can hover over all the icons within the dashboard to get additional information. Filters are always going to be on the left-hand side. And additionally, we try to use parameters wherever we can because in insurance, we're constantly looking at frequency and severity. So we either need to know if things are happening more often, are they happening more severely, or combining those two things together to understand if the overall impact of each claim is higher than it was before. So instead of providing them 3 separate charts to look at count of claims, total paid or incurred, or how much the claim cost, and then looking at a paid amount per claim, we try to use parameters in a lot of our dashboards and reporting just to make sure they can flip through each of them efficiently rather than having 3 separate reports at one time. So again, just an example here, and hover overs, like we can go in here, hit the icon, and it can additionally guide our users rather than having us talk through it every time. So I got some live demos after. We'll just, again, very briefly kind of look at them. But this is a little bit of what our dashboards look like that our clients are interacting with right now. The other thing that we really thought was important is the insurance agency has tried to move to a digital space. Like Zach said, sometimes in insurance and, won't speak for the bank, but sometimes the bank's a little bit behind from a digital forefront. And what we've tried to do over the last few years is just try to get our digital space to a better area. And what that means is we've kind of got online resource portals, secure file sharing sites, our own human resource information system or HRS system that our clients can access, and basically a new question chat zone for our clients to log into. All of their information is going to be in one spot, and they know if they have to deal with anything insurance, they can just go to our portal called Client Connect. What was really cool is this Tableau project, Seymour, went hand in hand with implementing Client Connect. So not only are we providing our resources, our secure file sharing site to our clients all in one spot, We've also now implemented online reporting for our clients to just go to our Client Connect website, bounce out to M&T Insurance Analytics.mtb.com, and now they can see their monthly reporting as well, rather than waiting for a secure email or something like that in the past. So now they have a secure portal that they can log in and access 24/7, and we paired that with our Client Connect portal site to, again, bring that value to our client and differentiate ourselves and hopefully alleviate some headaches in our clientele. Our data journey, so moving forward, the big thing with this project and platform is our team, we are newer and we live a little bit in that descriptive and diagnostic area. So what happened and why did it happen? Utilizing a platform like Tableau, we utilize Tableau Prep, basically building individual databases for each of our clients to blend and standardize all that data. Moving forward with our new data scientists who we hired, we're going to be looking at making an agency-wide database to help us scale our reporting site. But then we also want to pair that with providing new reporting tools into our agency and coming up with more predictive and prescriptive models that we can provide routinely to our clients. So right now we do a lot of, we work with actuaries and provide some models based on renewals, underwriting, things like that. But we think it will be fantastic once our data infrastructure is built up a little bit more to have a very consistent way to provide a lot of those predictive and prescriptive models to our clients in an efficient manner. All right, kind of last year, but we do have a full web page on mtb.com around Seymour. I'll bounce out to that for you guys in a second, but it was really great working with marketing on our side to create this. There's a nice video out there that walks the user through how to sign on and what they can experience when they're in the platform. So I highly recommend you guys watching that. The audio is a little weird today, so we won't pull it up. But then on top of the website, we've also been able to use our data journey and our data growth in our analytics department to create marketing materials to talk about the value add of building out data-driven decisions when managing your insurance platform. So these are just some marketing pieces that have been created from our M&T marketing team. And this is actually showing just some of the stuff that Seymour supports, and then also helps us grow and market out into the marketplace. So if I just click on our website here, lastly, just for you guys, we will just show you kind of what the website looks like, and we'll go from there. So if you guys can see the web page now, this is mtb.com, Seymour welcome page. Here's our video and our login to our Client Connect area. Down below is our different marketing areas. And then if you're wondering what Seymour actually looks like online, we have our vanity URL that's been created for us here at M&T. So it's insuranceanalytics.mtb.com. It brings the user to a secure login. One of the main things that we had to do is really work on, okay, how are the users going to interact with just their data and protect everybody's privacy. So everybody has a secure login. We don't put any sensitive information there. And then if you imagine, every group is isolated into their own zone, so no other users could ever access, different clients' portals. So if I type in here my username and password, not fat finger it. Yep. A user will log in. It will bring them into Tableau server, as you guys will see here in a second. I just went to a very basic visualization that's up here with some dummy data in it. It brings them to their platform. They're able to use some of the really nice features that Tableau server has to offer, like scheduling reports, sending them notifications on when things are updated. All of our filters, again, over to the side, interactive things to guide them through the reporting. And then again, the big thing for us was being able to isolate and identify all different types of coverage groups, subgroups, periods, and everything like that, just so our users can have a dynamic experience when they're looking at trying to build out and look into how their insurance plans are performing. So again, just wanted to really touch base for you guys on, hey, this is what it actually looks like. This is what it is online. This project took us about 2.5 to 3 years to get off the ground at M&T, between compliance, security, marketing, everything else under the sun. So we thought it would never happen, but we're really excited that it recently has released. We have about 10 clients that have user access to this currently, and we're excited to grow it even more. So can't stress enough how much Tableau helped us in growing not only our product Seymour, but also the ability for the insurance agency to expand their analytical capabilities, which really led us to developing our own independent team for that here, to be able to kind of manage and go through all these different these products that we have. So we really thank you for listening to us. Hopefully some of my jokes land and you guys laughed a little bit today, and hopefully this wasn't too drawn out into kind of the details or weeds. We really just wanted to go through, hey, what is Seymour, how we kind of got there, and what our plans are for the future. So if you ever have any questions or want to touch base on ideas, opportunities, Zach and I absolutely love meeting anybody in the community to talk through the passion for Tableau or ideas. So please feel free to reach out to us. And I think I'll turn it over back to everybody else now. So thanks again.
Thank you, Zach and John. That was a great presentation. I have one quick question before turning it over to Rashid. Kind of a fun one. What would you say is your favorite Tableau feature that you've used in your dashboards or in your creations, or a feature that your clients have found extremely helpful?
Yeah, I think I'll go first. And I think my favorite is parameters, just being able to set up views and different things like that, where you can modify pretty much the entire viz at one time just through some of those radio buttons and other things like that is an absolutely fantastic feature that, I'm not going to lie, we sit down in front of clients sometimes and we actually just pull up Tableau and we just start working on their workbook or dashboards or reports right in front of them. They ask it, can we do that or this? And I'm like, sure, let's look at the data, let's slice and dice it, let's get it to a point where you're comfortable looking at this. And I think parameters are the ones that really blow some minds sometimes when they're not expecting the tool to have that ability. So I'm going to have to go with parameters as one of my favorite features.
And for me, I would say it's actions. Being able to kind of switch which worksheet you're looking at by just clicking a button is great. And being able to have those click-through actions on your dashboard, I think, is really helpful, and makes the end user, I think, a little bit more work, but it makes the end user's life so much easier without having to click through multiple dashboards.
Great. Yeah, agreed with both of those functions. And lastly, can both of you speak to your learning curve with Tableau? So how hard, easy, difficult was it getting into Tableau, using it, and also getting into prep too? I know you mentioned using Tableau prep as well, which obviously some people aren't super data savvy. How easy or difficult was it for you guys?
Yeah, so my experience started just using Tableau originally, and I just thought it was a way better place to build charts and graphs that I could grab images of to make, my PowerPoints look better to start. So I used it with that. Once I figured out I could put like images on like the icons, I would make little pills to put on pharmacy charts and other things like that, and everybody thought it was amazing. So from there, I just kept, working in the tool, learning. My wife would probably be pretty upset with me because I used the TV for YouTube a lot, and she's like, "You're not watching another Tableau video, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually am." She's like, "All right, I'm leaving the room." But anyway, so a lot of YouTube, a lot of Googling. Tableau Prep, on the other hand, I wasn't introduced to it until probably a year and a half after I was into Tableau. And that one, I just see a ton of potential there to help us automate and get things together and standardized in an efficient manner. I definitely see Tableau Prep feeding into our server that we're trying to build for the entire agency to help us as an ETL tool. And really, the learning curve, I had to do a lot more research on that one. It went from basic, just like changing a couple things to actually building in joins and doing all those other fun stuff you can do in prep. And I still feel like I'm only scratching the surface there. But, you know, Tableau prep a little steeper, but can't stress enough how helpful the Tableau community is. You know, YouTube videos, just Googling things. That's really kind of where I got most of my knowledge base, just working through some examples.
Yeah, and for me, I would say the first like month I had Tableau, I thought it was the dumbest thing ever, because I just kept trying to do Excel in it, and I was like, I can do this easier in Excel. Why do people even use this? And then Jon and I started working together, and he taught me how to actually use it. And from there, I'd say, you know, the learning curve kind of jumped up significantly, to a point where after like a year or two, started hitting a plateau. And, you know, one of the things at being at a large corporation is you're never on the most up-to-date version. So we go to Tableau conference, or we'd watch, you know, what the new features are, and we were still 2 years away from that. So trying to keep up with what's going on with Tableau, but not having the new features made it, I think, a little harder. And then, you know, we kind of plateaued. One of the nice things about this project is we actually have our own licenses separate from the bank. So we were able to upgrade ourselves, get ourselves up on the newest functions, and kind of kickstart that learning curve again. And I think that really like got us going, got us re-energized. And with Tableau Prep, when the bank first brought on Tableau Prep, it was very glitchy. It didn't work out very well. And now with some of the newer iterations, I think we got a little behind because it wasn't working very well on our machines. And now with Tableau Prep, we have most of our workbooks are going through there. We're actually even taking time to rebuild data connections in Prep because we do think it's worth it to kind of clean up the data in Prep and then connect back to Tableau.
And guys, we do have one question in the chat from Scott Scholl. He's asking, from a permissions and licensing standpoint, do external users need a license to view the dashboard?
Yes. So there's, and I won't get into the details of Tableau licensing because that's not really our expertise, but in ours, they do because of the licensing that we have, but we have embedded licenses, which are different than just like your probably internal standard Tableau license.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if no one has any other questions. Oh, wait, we've got one more from Fiona. Do you push any of these reports out using subscription features to your external users or internal users?
Yeah, so that's actually something we just started playing around with. The one thing about our data that's a little bit weird compared to, say, something that's connected and updated more frequently is on the insurance side, we're sometimes waiting for data from our carrier partners and other partners, and it's only updated once a month. So a lot of our reports are either bi-weekly updates or once a month updates, which is, you know, we'd love them to be real time, but that's just the world that we're living in. So we have started trying to play around with just setting up the subscription feature with the email notification where they send the screenshots of, you know, the view that you have in there. Just to see, hey, are users liking that? Do they feel that's beneficial to them? So we have been playing around with that just internally right now, nothing external. But if it goes well there, then we'll start to explore some opportunities for maybe our external clients to have that feature as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jon and Zach. Really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, with just about 20 minutes left, I think we're going to turn it over to Rashid from Salesforce to talk about some Tableau feature updates.
Okay, thanks, Morgan. And hey, everyone. My name is Rashid, and give me 1 second. I'll share screens for you guys. Let me know if you can see my screen. Somebody just give me a thumbs up if you can see it.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, real quick. I'm Rashid Minott. This is kind of an interesting segue because it's going to be kind of comical. I'm a lead solution engineer with Tableau. I've been with Tableau for a little over a year and a half, but if you can see, I'm actually sharing my Tableau public profile and my Tableau resume. My career started at a little bank downtown Buffalo called M&T. I actually started at an M&T bank long time ago. We're not going to talk about my age, but long time ago, I was a compliance specialist at M&T, and I had very little skills, as you can see. And then over the years, I kind of went through the banking circuit, if you will. Only recently, in the last year, did I leave the banking circuit and end up at Tableau. So that's kind of like my journey. So I kind of, going to talk to you today about basically some new features in Tableau that came within the last year and a half. But to Jon and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The previous presenters, kind of hinted at, your Tableau journey is one of these things where don't think that because, especially if you're early in your Tableau journey, there was a point where we were all early in our Tableau journey, and it doesn't take 20 years to get good at Tableau. It was just something that I didn't start using Tableau until 2017. And man, oh man, did I wish I had it back in the M&T days, all jokes aside. But yeah, I mean, I've pushed Tableau to the limits. I mean, you'll see that kind of over the course of my career. I was a Tableau ambassador at one point. I was a leader of the Charlotte Tableau user group. I won a contest, a battle of the banks, done a lot with Tableau, and kind of excited to tell you today about some new features that are in Tableau that you really should take advantage of, because as someone who's been doing this for quite some time on the customer side, long before I joined the company, there's a lot in Tableau now that, man, if I'd have had that back when I was doing XYZ at M&T Bank or any of the other banks, would have made a huge difference. So we're going to kind of jump through basically what was new in Tableau from 2021.1 up until 2022.2. Every slide is going to call out exactly what version that feature came in. So it is important to make sure that we're all on the same page. Everyone typically is on a different version of Tableau, especially when you're dealing with different sectors, different industries, different kind of, rollouts of Tableau. To know what version of Tableau you're on, if you're looking at Tableau Server, go to the top right section of Tableau Server, like the home screen, there'll be a question mark. Click on that, go down to About Tableau Server. That'll tell you what version of Tableau Server you're on. If you're looking at Tableau Desktop, open it up, the menu at the top, I believe under the Help menu, there'll be something that says About Tableau. Click on that, it'll tell you what version of Tableau Desktop you're on. So again, it's important so that you understand which of these features you could take advantage of right away versus which ones you may have to wait, a little while to be able to leverage. But with that, we're going to jump in. There's a lot of features that came in the last year and a half. I'll split it up. I'll talk about the features that are Tableau Desktop specific. I'll talk about the features that are Tableau Prep specific, and then we'll talk about some features that are part of what's known as the data management add-on, and then we'll talk about just some, some random other features that if we kind of get time to it, if we have time to it, get to them. All right, so in the last year and a half, one of the biggest improvements, in my opinion, and this is going to go for both this slide and really like I think the next slide or the slide right after that, which is Ask Data, and we'll get to Explain Data. Ask Data has been around since like 2019.1. I like to think of that as Ask Data 1.0, the first iPhone. It was good. It was only available for creators and explorers, but it had some areas for improvement. As of 2021.2, this is Ask Data 2.0. And the biggest thing was opening it up for viewers, because before, Ask Data was something that could really only be leveraged by someone with a creator or explorer license. As of 2021.2, it can be leveraged by everyone. And that's big, because I like to think of Ask Data as Tableau Lite, ad hoc analytics on the fly for anyone. You as a user can do a quick dashboard yourself without having an explorer license, without even having to learn Tableau. You can just ask a question, get an answer back. If you're not taking advantage of Ask Data, I can't stress enough. That's one of those features that we built. We had multiple, you want to always have a single source of the truth. There were times in my career where we didn't have that. We had multiple sources of the truth, multiple versions of a report for different divisions, different LOBs, different segments. Ask Data would have been a much better, more efficient option if we had it at the time. So Ask Data for viewers, again, Ask Data in general gives you the entity search experience. You can create what are called data lenses with Ask Data. So again, single source of truth. There's only one underlying data source. What you're doing is creating these lenses on top of that. A lens, an Ask Data lens, is like, if you know SQL, think of it like a view. The table is the data. The view is just this little query that sits on top of it and kind of, slices and gives you like a query kind of perspective of the underlying data. That's exactly what Ask Data lenses are. So you can have one single source of truth, one table, and 10 Ask Data lenses, and there will not be any kind of degradation in performance. It'll still run fast. You'll have, like I said, one dashboard that can serve multiple purposes for multiple audiences. So that's a big feature that came in 2022.1. In 2022.1, we introduced a phrase builder. And I like to think of this as, remember when I said Ask Data went from 1.0 to 2.0? This is Ask Data 2.5. Basically, it's the same Ask Data, but instead of you having to kind of type out a question, basically, think of it like Google. You would type out kind of what it is you want, the answer to. Now you can continue to do that, but you can also just kind of add fields. Meaning, I just want to click on sales. I just want to click on region. I just want to click on these 5 fields that I want to see in the visualization real quick. I don't want to have to figure out the way I got to phrase the question for Ask Data to understand what I'm trying to do. You can just start clicking and dragging fields in. Works just the same. Came in 2022.1. It's definitely a good enhancement when it comes to Ask Data. So again, Ask Data to me, one of the features that I would use now way more than I would have used before. And I'm someone who works here, and I'm telling you, even we feel that way about Ask Data. So of all of these features, that's one I would suggest that you contemplate using more so than maybe some of the other ones. Explain Data for viewers, again, just like Ask Data. Explain Data, if you don't know, I like to think of Explain Data as a way. Explain Data, in a nutshell, provides correlation. So what it's going to do, it's going to basically, you're going to click on some kind of mark or something within a dashboard, and it's going to see if there's any other fields in that data source that seem to have a correlation with what you selected. Meaning you selected a mark, and here's another field that's not in your dashboard, but it seems like there's a correlation between them. When profit went up, it went down. Or when profit went up, it went up. There's a correlation. That's all it's telling you. It found a correlation. Correlation doesn't equal causation. It just means this is something that you might want a little bit more insight for you to kind of figure out maybe what's going on with why a value is what it is. And again, just like with Ask Data in 2022, man, these versions are killing me, 2021.2, that's when we opened it up to be for viewers as well. So again, as of 2021.2, doesn't matter what license you have, whether you have a creator license, an explorer license, or a viewer license, Explain Data can be leveraged by basically everyone. We'll have time for questions at the end, but I'm going to try to go quickly just to make sure that I get through the majority of these. Data stories. Data stories is the newest feature of all of them. It came in 2022.2, which was like a month ago, or 6 weeks ago, or something of that nature. Data stories is basically what it does is it generates a plain language explanation about your Tableau worksheet. Think of it this way. It creates an instant summary based on a worksheet. So you drag a data story into your dashboard, you select what worksheet you want it to apply to, and then you select what fields, what dimensions and measures from that worksheet you want it to look at. And once you do that, it will then instantaneously give you a quick summary. This is what it found about those fields in context of your worksheet. And it's dynamic. So as people start interacting with filters, as they start clicking, it's going to start adjusting. It's going to basically adjust the summary based upon your selection. Every time you make a selection, it's going to readjust the insights based upon what it is you selected. Very nice. Came in 2022.2. Key takeaway. It is a Tableau, and let me make this clear. Tableau Cloud and Tableau Online are the exact same thing. Tableau Online was renamed to Tableau Cloud earlier this year. So anytime you see the word Tableau Online or you see the word Tableau Cloud, they're the same product. It's just been renamed, rebranded. And what I mean by, I bring that up to say that data stories is right now Tableau Cloud specific. It is not a feature available for people who are on an on-prem version of Tableau, but it's coming. It's just more of a, you're going to get it in a future version. It's just not available right now. Quickest way to know if you're on Tableau Cloud versus on-prem, if you have a Tableau server and it's like M&T.tableau.com or New Era Tableau.com, you're on-prem. If you are on Tableau Cloud is just having a site basically when you log into Tableau.com, you go into Tableau.com, you click login. That's how you know you're on Tableau Cloud versus being on an on-prem server. But data storage, again, very nice feature, just came out like a month and a half ago. Right now, only for Tableau Cloud customers, but will be coming in the future for on-prem customers as well. With that, I'll try to get through as many of these as I can, yet still save time for questions at the end. Quick LODs came in 2021.1. This is a quick way to create a fixed LOD expression. Can't stress this enough. If you don't know LODs, you should definitely get some education on LODs, and it stands for level of detail. But there's only 3 types of LODs. It's fixed, include, and exclude. Quick LODs only let you create a fixed LOD expression. There's no quick include or quick exclude. And basically all it is if you just select a dimension and a measure at the same time, you hold the shift key or the option key for a Mac, and then you go to the create menu, you're going to see something that says LOD calculation, and that will allow you to create a fixed LOD expression. It'll just do it for you. Instead of you having to write out the calculation, it'll literally write it out for you, and it'll just use the dimension and the measure that you selected. It's a nice feature, quicker way of writing LOD expressions, came in 2021.1. Copy and paste dashboard objects. This is a big one. You'd be surprised. This was annoying. As someone who's built like 1,000 dashboards, it was painfully annoying to have to duplicate the entire dashboard just to kind of not have to re-engineer everything all over again, especially if you do like a lot of custom stuff like navigation buttons and you kind of do side panels and icon and things of that nature. As of 2021.4, you can now copy and paste objects. So you could create an entire container with navigation buttons formatted the way you like, and then copy and paste that whole object, put it in another sheet or another dashboard. Used it all the time. Very nice feature. Should have been there earlier, in my opinion, but we got it in 2021.4. View data customizations. This one is probably bigger than it should be, in that this is the ability to download data to Excel and control the order of the columns. This is something you couldn't do before. Columns would be in whatever order that it kind of, usually I should say it was just going to be in an alphabetical order. And that was frustrating because if you designed a crosstab in Tableau and you tried to download it, it would just kind of restructure everything to just be in alphabetical order, and it didn't make sense. So now, not only can you control the order of the columns, you can define which columns to keep and which ones not to keep in the export, which again, very nice. You might not want all 35 columns. Maybe you want 12 of them and you want them in a specific order. Now, as a user, you can click download and get this little prompt here, this little pop-up, I should say, wherein which you can control which columns are going to be in the download and the order in which those columns are going to show. And that came in 2022.1. So some of you might be on a 2021 version, know that this is coming. You're going to get this as soon as your company upgrades to something after 2022.1 or when they upgrade to 2022.1. 5-second detour about versions. Up until 2019, we were on basically Tableau 8, 8.1, 8.2, 9, 9.1, 9.2, 10, 10.1, 10.2. I think we got to 10.5, and then it became the year and the quarter. So that's how it worked, basically. Versions are always going to be the year and the quarter. There's only 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. So it's always just going to be the year and the quarter that it got released. So that's kind of just an FYI about how these version numbers are kind of calculated. Now, 2022.1, that is the version where new features will be released. Anything after the 0.1 is a maintenance thing. So if it's 2022.1.7561, that's all maintenance stuff. That's all kind of bug fixes and things of that nature. That's just more of an FYI. You really only need to care about that first number after the year, because that's basically the major release. Like I said, every number after that stands for a bug fix that with respect to that said release. Keep going. Edit published data sources. If you do leverage published data sources, this was something that was frustrating because up until 2021.4, there was no way to edit a published data source. You would basically have to republish it. So if you wanted to make a change to that data source, you'd have to kind of go back to the way it was built in the first place. Like if it was built in Tableau Desktop or Tableau Prep, make your change and then republish it. Now you can edit a published data source as of 2021.4. So again, that's something that, in my opinion, should have been there earlier, but I'm glad it got there when it did. So now you can have that ability, and especially if it's a scenario where one person publishes the data source and an entire team maintains it. So, before, the owner would have had to go back and make the change and then republish the data source. Now, anyone who has permissions on the server side can edit the existing published data source. And again, that was as of 2021.4. I'm going to try to get to at least 2 more of these and then pause for questions. Metrics. As of 2021.1, you can now see metrics that are attached to a dashboard in the dashboard itself. Before, you would add a metric to a dashboard, and then you'd have to kind of go up to the parent project level to actually see those metrics again. There was no way to see the metrics and the dashboard at the same time. So as of 2021.1, now you can see both the metrics and the dashboard at the same time. And like I said, we'll try to get just one last one in there around metrics. As of 2022.2, again, that's the one that came 6 weeks ago, you can now edit metrics. Before this, you could create a metric, but again, you would have to basically recreate it or republish it if you wanted to make a change. Now you can basically edit an existing metric after it's been published. We only technically have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to stop for any questions. There's more features we can go through, but I just want to make sure I don't miss a question if there's anything out there right now. If not, I'll do two more of these and then I'll kind of, let you guys wrap up.
Yeah, sounds good. A couple more would be helpful.
Okay. Collections. Collections came in 2021.2. Collections are nice. Think of this as shared group project folders, if you will. Prior to collections, you could create a project. And that's basically the way it would work. You'd have multiple projects in a Tableau site, but the project would be project specific. Let's say there's a project, and I'll stick with the banking, terminology, for the lending division. And there are all sorts of dashboards for lending related dashboards. And there's a project for insurance, and there are insurance dashboards in there. And then there's a project for wealth and investment management, and there's dashboards related to that. I'm somebody who uses dashboards from all 3 of those projects, meaning that I got to go into all 3 of them all the time to monitor basically the things that I care about. Now, I can make those dashboards favorites, and that's usually what you would have done. I'll favorite all of those dashboards, and then in my favorites, they'll be there with all of my other favorites. So I might have 50 favorites. I might have 100 favorites when it's all said and done. I got no way of grouping these things together until now. As of 2021.2, now you have the ability to create a collection. And a collection, not only can I now take all of those things I'm responsible for and start to put them in groups. So now I can split them up as far as, the things that in my personal collections, I can also share collections. I can create the collections of reports scattered across the entire site that me and my team need to monitor, and then share it with my team. And the beauty of a collection is that permissions are basically they're inherited. So if I share my collection with John and John doesn't have access to all of the dashboards in my collection, he's not going to see all the dashboards in my collection. He'll only see the dashboards in my collection that he has access to. So I look at my collection, I see 10 dashboards. He looks at my collection, he sees 6. Because he wasn't he wasn't granted permission on those additional dashboards. Like I said, permissions are set either at the project level or all the way down to the dashboard level. But a collection is really just kind of a way of grouping them together. It does not give people permission to anything more than what they already had, but it does give end users the ability to now group things together in ways that they couldn't before. So collections 2021.2, really nice feature, long overdue. And I'm glad they finally added it. And that's actually it. The rest of these are going to be prep builder, new features, and data management new features. But that's the pretty much the end of the main ones. So we only got 3 minutes left. So I want to give it back to the Buffalo Tableau user group guys, unless they if they got some final stuff they want to kind of communicate with you guys. But thanks again for letting me present today.
Thank you, Rashid. I could listen to Tableau features all day long just because there's so many, right?
And if you guys want me to finish this, I could continue this list and maybe at a future meeting if you want, because there's a lot. Yeah. So like I said, if you're definitely interested in this, let me know. I can kind of, we'll pick up where we left off at your next meeting and we'll get through all of these new features.
I love that. And probably by our next meeting, there will be even more to add to this list.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
new
that I
versions
can
coming out.
guarantee. Yeah.
Exactly. Any last minute chime-ins? Anything else? Thank you to all of our presenters. Really appreciate your time today. If there are any questions or comments, feel free to email the group. Like I said, we're on LinkedIn as well. And our next meeting will probably be in a couple months for Q4. Is this Q3? So yeah, look out for our Q4 meeting, maybe more Tableau updates. So appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you all.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.